Hello and welcome to a new video. Today we're gonna take a look at the new release of Cloyster with the move Liquidation, which is going to be an interesting one. We don't have the normal Cloyster here, we're going to have the Shadow variant, which hasn't been in Shadow raids, not Shadow raids, but I mean, could have been also in Shadow raids, but in general, in grunts or whatever, for ages. Don't know where it went, don't know why we never got this back, but yeah, Shadow Cloyster, very strong, cool Pokemon. I mean, not really very strong, but cool Pokemon at least. But also, you're going to have here a line that's kind of similar to what we had before already, but we had the Alone Sandslash before in the back, which is of course the better Pokemon, but still we're going to have some fun today with Cloyster. We're going to get here the Ice Unit onto the opponent's Whimsicott. They will not be able to knock me out here with the Grass Knot. Still will be able to farm them all the way down here. While they're still running Charm, we're going to get out the S-Cavalier here in the first game. We will be able to try to counter them all the way down. And in comes now the Pelipper, which is going to get completely zapped here by our Deoxys. Goodbye there, and we didn't even see the Cloyster first game, because we didn't need to. Our lead here together with the Dugong is a very strong combination in general for the current meta, as you're going to now encounter the Ferrothorn coming in. This can be a little bit tricky, but I'm going to try to have a game plan here that save my shields for the Cloyster. The thing is, Cloyster is way more attack weighted compared to a Dugong, plus the Shadow bonus makes it basically that this Pokemon does just a ton of damage. Honestly, like, you can just farm down opponents in 2 shields narrow just because Ice Shard is a very hard-hitting fast move. You're going to be able to have a great time there. And here against the opponent's Pelipper, I'm going to go ahead and go for the Psycho Boost, trying to get them into that range where I can farm them down. I can go ahead, go into our Cloyster here right now, and they're going to throw their charge move here, which I'm going to shield up as going to be the Hurricane, which is going to be nice for us as well. And they're going to stay in here for whatever reason, because I want to get off another charge move here, I guess. But this will not help them, because as you're going to see here right now, we're going to easily take this one, and in comes the Noctowl. Noctowl will definitely not enjoy this matchup against our Cloyster here right now, as Cloyster will be able to go ahead and go for another Ice Event here afterwards, and they decide to forfeit as the Ice Shard would have already put them down there as well. Next opponent, we're going to have a lead that I don't really like to see. Galar and Stunfisk is playable, but honestly one of the worst Pokemon to face in my opinion. Because you're going to see here, I can't really do charge move damage with my lead, so I'm going to be forced to swap out anyway. And they're going to do some pretty decent damage here with their... yeah, with the Oxide. But of course, you're gonna get out here at least the Pelipper, which is going to be nice for us. As the Icy Wind is coming through, we're going to be able to get the debuff onto the opponent's attack, allowing us to go for another Icy Wind, which they're going to let go through as well. Thought of undercharging, should have done that for sure at the end of the day, but I didn't, which is kind of a mistake, but it's still going to be alright. As we have a ton of energy here right now, let's see what's coming in. It's going to be the Venusaur. And honestly, I misplayed this here a little bit, because I thought I had a different endgame and I could have definitely played this a little bit better, but they're going to swap out now the Galarian Stunfisk. Not really ideal for me, and honestly I still went for the draw run here. I thought they would really want to shield this move up, because they kind of wanted to keep the, yeah, kind of, I don't know, like they kind of want to keep this one around so they could beat the rest of my team, but no. They decide to go ahead and go straight full for the Venusaur, try to get the shield here from the opponent, and try also to debuff them with the Icy Wind. And I think at this point of time, the Icy Wind should put them into a range where the Friendly Plant doesn't knock out my Galarian Stunfisk, my Deoxys defense there. So I hopefully going to be able to survive this one. We have 2 Psycho Boost out. I honestly should have just tried to snipe them with my Deoxys before. That was a big misplay. Before, like when I still had a shield left, I should have just tried to do it, but sadly it still knocks me out. Pretty sure if I had a better IV variant of the Deoxys, I would have been able to win this game there. But because I have literally the worst possible option for the Deoxys currently, yeah, definitely not really ideal. What is also not really ideal is playing against a Cresselia. Luckily, the opponent going to be able to now go into their Sandslash, which is fine for us. We have a Drill Run, going to do a pretty decent amount of damage against the opponent here. And we're going to be able to get another one off here against them. Going to do some decent damage, does not knock them out straight away though. And they're going to be able to go for the knockout against me here with the Drill Run coming in. And they are going to face my shield here, because I kind of want to realign my Pokemon. I can try to get the debuff onto the opponent here right now and try to get the final shield as well, but they're going to let this move go through. Turns out the opponent going to go ahead and go into a Pokemon that I didn't expect them going into. It's going to be the Noctowl. I wanted to really have the Cresselia here first so I can debuff them and then have a better matchup with my Deoxys later on, but this works out pretty well as well, especially as they're staying in for a little bit, allowing me to go for another Icy Wind against the opponent here right now. This will get the debuff and also do more damage against the opponent compared to the Icy Wind of the Dugong. And now we can go ahead, go into our Deoxys. Let's go for one Thunderbolt here in order to knock them out, but they're gonna still get to another charge move before, which is fine. Moonblast is going to do some decent damage here. We're gonna be now into range for the opponent's Noctowl, but I feel like I can still survive one charge move with my Cloyster. Cloyster has an insanely high defense, which is actually kind of bad because the Cloyster, I think, gets more impacted now by the Shadow bonus because the defense got cut by like 20%. So, like, for example, I think it's better for a Shadow Pokemon to have half high-ish attack though, because like then you get 20% more into that one. Pretty low defense here, but also then maybe like high HP. I think that would be the best variant there for some Shadow Pokemon. Like, I think if the Shadow Hariyama, I think that's like one of the Pokemon that has high HP, pretty decent attack, and pretty horrible defense, would have like a little bit better moves or whatever. I think it might be a little bit better as well than maybe a Machamp, but I could be wrong there. Like, I don't know really, but still, we're going to see here the next opponent going to have the Lickitung against us. Against Lickitung, it's also a little bit tricky with his team. I faced a lot of them actually, but I will be able to now go for one debuff first, and then I'll try to just farm them down here. They go for 2 body slams here, which is kind of interesting because 2 body slams is not what you usually like expect to see. I always thought they would go straight for the power whip, but still going to be okay. What is not going to be okay is what they're going to go into right now, which is going to be the Dugong. So we have a Dugong mirror here right now. And honestly, it can be a little bit tricky right now. I'm going to try to get to another drill run, and I get there as a CMP tie, which is going to be nice for me, as it's going to force the shield from the opponent. They kind of want to keep their Dugong healthy, I guess, because they only have then like all other Pokemon left there, but they're going to be able to now farm me all the way down. I can go into my Cloyster, and let's take a look how much damage this drill run going to do. I'm fearing that they can two-shot me, but they actually cannot two-shot me, which is kind of nice for me. In comes the Medicham, and this damage here is going to be very nice for me as well. I actually like to have the liquidation damage onto them, because this will now allow me to put them into range where I can just go ahead and go for one Thunderbolt in order to knock them out. And they're going to go for the Ice Punch. I'm going to shield this move up because I thought that my Deoxys is going to be my most valuable Pokemon here right now. But they're going to decide to shield up the incoming Thunderbolt as well. I lose CMP against Medicham, so I'm going to let this move go through as well. Going to overfarm a little bit, and I can go for the Psycho Boost, which is going to be very nice for us. As you're going to see here right now, we're going to knock out the opponent, but also we're going to get out now the Dugong, and we put them now into range for one charge move from our good friend Cloyster in order to knock them out here, especially after the Ice Shot coming through here. We're gonna put them to like literally nearly 1 HP there, and this Ice Shot coming in, or like Icy Wind coming in here, going to knock them out there, and we're going to be able to win this game just before the timer ran out there as well, which is kind of wild. Like, let's take a look at the next opponent. We're going to see a Galarian Stunfisk in the lead again. Let's see how we can manage this one again. Again, not really the Pokemon that I want to face here, but we still have some potential in order to beat them. We're going to be able to let this move go through from the opponent. Going to be the Earthquake. I can swap out here again into the Dugong, and it doesn't even matter if they're going to swap out or anything like this. We're going to shield up the Rock Side, and we're going to get out the Medicham. So in hindsight, I would have liked to not shield up the Rock Side there, but it's still going to be fine, as Icy Wind is going to be very nice against Medicham. You see here already, we're going to be able to get them pretty low. Psychic is coming through, I can reach another Icy Wind here in time, and this Icy Wind is going to do some pretty decent damage, and also going to get the attack drop onto the opponent, of course, as they go for another charge move here. They only go for an Ice Punch. It does knock me out, but puts them perfectly to farm me down there. I can still just go ahead and farm them all the way down. We have 100 energy here, but we have to swap out, because of course they're still going to have the Galarian Stunfisk here. And honestly, almost I should have went for a charge move first before I swapped out there for like one Psycho Boost there, trying to get the shield maybe. But there's not a lot that I can do here. Like, the Sableye with a shield up as well is going to be too much to deal with for my Cloyster, and I can not even get to another charge move here. And this is sadly going to be the end for this game, because the opponent going to be able to win this one. I just forfeit to save some time here. Well, let's take a look at the next game. We're going to see a Scrafty in the lead. Very good to see this Pokemon in the lead, because I don't want to see it in any other position there. But what we can do here is we can just go ahead and go for the Thunderbolt, which is going to be at least neutral, and put them into farm down range for Deoxys and let the first move go through. Zero shot scenario against the Scrafty. If they go for the foul play first and then for the pup, which they're going to do here, you're going to easily survive. So we're going to swap out here now into our Dugong. In comes an Ampharos. And this Ampharos, I'm going to go ahead and go for the bait first, because I expect them to shield, but they don't even shield. It's still going to be okay for us, because we're going to see the Thunder Punch coming through here. We will be able to get them pretty low here already. In this point of time, I'm just relying on Cloyster. It's a Cloyster video, and Cloyster is going to be the main Pokemon we want to showcase today. So let's go ahead and farm them all the way down here, go for one liquidation against the opponent's incoming Frostless. They definitely don't want to take this move here for sure. We're going to be able to go ahead and shield up another charge move from the opponent. They can bait me all they want. I can go for another charge move against them here right now. And it's going to be another liquidation, of course. It's going to get the defense drop as well. Honestly, this was a mistake by swapping out here. I shouldn't have done that. At the end of the day, it doesn't really matter because I forced him to throw another charge move here. So I guess it is still working out pretty well there. But still, it didn't really have to do this. I'm going to be able to shield up the incoming Shadow Ball most likely here. No, it's going to be an Avalanche. And I'm going to be able to win this game here now. So that's going to be a good game there. Let's take a look at the next opponent. We're going to face a Lickitung in the lead again. Again, we see like basically always kind of lead losses, and we can at least play around them here a little bit. We usually just stay in for a little bit, go for the Psycho Boost, do some decent damage, and then swap out. And in comes now the Medicham. We have an ABB line. I see that all the time in the comment section. What do you do when your lead is gone? If my lead is gone, you didn't play the line correctly, because you have to swap out in like neutral leads in order to maintain your lead, so you can align it later on when you basically baited out the counter for your two Pokemon in the back there. And this is exactly how this team works. Dugong gets out the fighting type Pokemon, you still keep your Deoxys around in the lead to counter the fighting type Pokemon, and then you try to sweep endgame with a Cloyster, or even better, the Alone Sandslash. If you have that one, definitely works out way better than the Cloyster, but Cloyster is more fun, right? Still, this game here going to be a little bit tough because we had already the Medicham and already the lead loss here as well with the Lickitung. So we're forced to go into our Cloyster here right now. We get one fast move through, but they're going to have a Sableye in the back. And I have no idea what this opponent is going to try to do against a Noctowl. They have a Medicham, they have a Sableye, and they have a Lickitung, and especially Sableye and the Lickitung is going to completely get walled by the Noctowl, but also of course the Medicham doesn't really want to face that one. So honestly, this team is a little bit of a weird one there, but I guess if it works out for them, good for them, because they're going to be able to still win this game here, but there was not a lot that I can do there. The matchup against Sableye is pretty damn horrible for the, for our Cloyster there, so... yeah, we're going to see here the lead of Medicham, which is going to be very decent for us, because we're going to be able to go ahead, let this Ice Punch go through. We can go for the Thunderbolt, but now in comes the Lantern, and I don't like Lantern. Lantern is difficult for this team, especially after seeing already the opponent's Medicham in the lead first. So I'm going to try to put them into a range where I can knock them out with my Dugong. And I wanted to shield this move up because it was most likely the Thunderbolt and I needed the lead still alive for, of course, the Medicham in the back. Turns out it wasn't, and turns out they're going to win CMP here. I'm going to go ahead and let this move go through, which is going to be the Surf, which is really lucky for me because they were, baiting there. We will be able to get the shield from the opponent. Now we're going to try to go for the full farm down here. I'm actually going to shield this move up here. It's going to be the Thunderbolt this time around. And I will be able to do some damage against the Medicham still, just with the Icy Wind. So that does actually kind of make some sense here, I guess. Because we can realign, and we're going to be able to get a lot of damage onto the opponent, and the Medicham needs some damage on itself, so should be fine here. They can still go for one Psychic though. Great play by the opponent, as they're going to be able to knock me out onto my charge move, but they shouldn't do enough damage here against me on my Deoxys here, so I just have to hope that there's something in the back that can beat with my Cloyster in the back. We will find out shortly, as you can hit this Psycho Boost, knock out the opponent, we swap out, and we get out the Noctowl. This is looking interesting now. Can we actually still win this game here with a shield down? It's going to be a little bit difficult. They're going to go for the Shadow Ball first. I can go for my Icy Wind right now, trying to debuff the opponent's attack, and we see a clear decrease in the damage output that they do here, and this will be enough to knock out the opponent here with another Icy Wind and say goodbye to the Noctowl. Cloyster coming in clutch. Next opponent, Mew. This was honestly my favorite game to see, because the opponent's Mew runs a really weird moveset of the, what's called the, forgot the name, Volt Switch there, and they also caught the move here perfectly on the Lapras, which is really annoying for me as well right now, but they go for the Surf first. But yeah, they have the Volt Switch, which is going to be able to be very decent against basically my entire team. So, yeah, it's going to be an interesting one, I would say. As you're going to see now, the Lapras coming in against us, you're going to have a pretty decent time against us, as they have still the move Skull Bash to raise their own defenses, as well as doing a ton of neutral damage against us. We can go for one Drill Run, try to knock them out here with the second one as well, but it's not really looking too great for us right now. We're going to see the knockout here, but the Mew is coming in, and what do we do against this one? Our lead cannot really deal with it, our Pokemon in the back cannot really deal with it. This team is not designed for Mew. I haven't seen a Mew in ages, but I guess it's still around here right now, right? So what can we do here? They flame charge and get even higher attack. I honestly don't know what we can really do here anymore to win this game. We have to see. We're going to try to go for one Thunderbolt here right now to knock them out, but they're going to of course shield this move up as they are so ramped up already and they know that I'm going to be weak against them. So I'm forced to go for one Psycho Boost here as we have 1 HP still left on our Deoxys. This 1 HP can still come in clutch later on. Let's take a look at this one. We're going to see the flame charge coming through right now, and in comes now a beat drill. This beat drill, we're going to be able to one-shot with our Cloyster. Goodbye there. And now we can just try to farm them down, but they still get to a move. They still have a 1 HP as well. But a Volt Switch takes 4 turns. We only take 2 turns to win this game here with the counter of Deoxys, and this was my favorite game to play today. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave a like on the video as well. Subscribe if you haven't already. You see 2 videos on the screen. Check them out if you haven't already, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.